gentlemen, boys, and girls. So you could kind of say this is going to be a little bit of a, I don't want to say boring video, not that long. I'm going to try and make it kind of quick. Everybody, there'll be no gameplay. I just wanted to kind of shoot some stuff by you guys. Now, everybody realizes that World of Tanks is trying to fix the problem with premium ammo, gold spamming, premium ammo spamming, people that carry 40 rounds of premium ammo and 0 of standard rounds. Well, I've seen a couple different ideas, and I'm going to have down below a link to Skill for You. He's, I believe, a EU player, and I was guessing, I've only seen a couple of his videos, but one of them that I did see, I hope I can find it again. I should be able to. He's talking about ways of fixing the ammo without screwing the game up even worse. Because I know Wargaming's been tossing back and forth a couple different ways of fixing the problem with people shooting, straight premium ammo, or, just overdoing it with overkill. I mean, how many times picture yourself in a light tank with, 14 millimeters of armor or 10 millimeters of armor, or a tank destroyer or artillery, whatever tank that has literally no armor, and you're in a tier 8 and you're getting hit by a tier 10 that has 303 or 320 penetration heat rounds, and somebody's hitting you with a heat round that has 340 pen, and you've got 10 millimeters of armor. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's plain stupid. It's just people have gotten so over used to just clicking number 2 and becoming 30-40% better because they don't have to aim. They know that you got a weak lower plate, you've got commander's hatches, you've got, ports, viewports, you've got sides, you got rears, you've got weak spots, but they don't aim. They don't want to aim. They just want to, press number 2, pop out, shoot you real quick, and pull back. Well, a lot of people want to do that. I would love to do that, but it gets annoying when game after game after, I mean, match after match, you feel like you're on a test server. You go on a test server, that's all they shoot. And it's hard to take and go on the test server and actually, I think on test servers, get rid of all gold, all premium rounds. I'm sorry, I'm in the habit of calling them gold rounds because I'm old school, been playing the game since it's been out. So premium rounds, I'll try and stick to premium rounds. So you go on the test server, you want to try out this newfangled tank with this awesome armor, and everybody's slinging premium rounds, so you can't really, armor it doesn't exist on the test server. It's just because everybody's shooting premium ammo. If you get hit by a standard round, that's because it's somebody new that has no clue what they're doing. I mean, basically serious. So I just pulled up my account, and we're just gonna click on a few tanks here and there. We're gonna do 8s and 10s. We're not gonna do low tiers. We're not gonna do tier 9, because when you're in a tier 8, the problem you have is you may see a tier 6. That's awesome, but you also may see a tier 10. So how do you mix and match your ammo? Okay, you don't want to take all premium because you might be top tier and then you're just wasting credits. But then you don't want to take all standard and then get stuck in a bunch of tier 10 matches and you can't penetrate any 100 or a Moss or Yagzella, whatever. And same when you're in a tier 10. Well, just because you're in a top tier tank doesn't mean that all top tier tanks have 280, 290, 330, 340, 400, whatever pen. Okay? I mean, some of them have 240, 230 pens, same as some of the tier 8s and 7s. And so you really have to kind of weigh your odds of, you got to look at your ammo count. If you got a tank like the Manicore, for instance, we'll start at tier 8s. Okay. So like the TL1 LPC, okay, just got released a little bit ago. Lots of ammo. You got 50, 60, 64 rounds, okay? I carry 51 AP. Better look at the penetration. 208. That's great penetration for a tier 8. 280 for the premium. That's great 280 heat, that'll go through a Moss, that'll go through a, well, Yagzella iffy. I mean, but, you know, if you aim, you could still go through that stuff with 208. Lower plates, you know, weak spots, hatches, so on and so forth. M6A2E1, bobblehead. Crappy gun, they buffed it, but still a piece of crap gun. I mean, it's, now you're only going to see tier 9s in this, okay? But you have, and they did buff it, 204 standard, 245 premium. So, you know, I only carry 10 standard, 44 premium, and 6 HE. I seem to get a lot of tier 9 matches in this tank. And 245 really, really struggles against a lot of your tier 9s. Renegade just got released a little bit ago, not long ago. And this is a prime example. Great tank. It's got pretty decent armor. Gun on it is actually very good. 226 standard, 255 premium. Okay, I probably could lower the premium count on this, on the premium ammo, actually quite a bit. And I probably will. 22 standard, 18 premium, 2 HE. But I've got a lot of ammo. It's not like I've only got 12 rounds to go, oh god. Now I'm going to see tier 10s, but I'm also going to see tier 6s. You know, so it's kind of almost a half and half. Just in case I get stuck in a tier 10 match, you know, I've got a lot of ammo for dealing with tier 10s. If I'm stuck in a tier 6 match going against this tier 8, or tier 7s going against this tier 8, you know, the standard rounds with 226, plenty of penetration to go through stuff. So you can pick and choose. T-34, one of the oldest tanks in the game. They haven't touched the ammo on this in probably ever. I carry 19 standard, 12 premium. You do see a lot of tier 10 matches, but you also have 248 standard pen, 297 premium. Plenty of penetration to deal with 10s, 8s, 9s, set, whatever. So, you know, my ammo count, I could probably lower the premium a little bit. I'm not going to go through every one of these. I'm just kind of picking and choosing. Defender, 23 standard, 5 premium. Great gun. Not accurate as heck, but very good gun. 225 standard, 265 premium. Let's pick a crappy gun. T69, one of the worst guns. Crappy gun. They just buffed it a bit ago. Brought it up to 181 pen with your standard AP and 250 for your heat. So I carry 12 standard rounds and 24 heat rounds. HE rounds. Oh, it's an auto loader, so you're kind of stuck. And that's another thing. If you get an auto loader, you know, you want to take off one round. You can't do that. You're taking off 4 rounds. 4 rounds. 8 rounds. I mean, you can't just lower it by 1 or 2. You're either lowering it by, some tanks are 3, some are 4, some are 6. It depends on what tank you're in. Super Pershing, they just buffed this a while ago, but the gun really still kind of sucks. Half and half. You won't see over a tier 9 in this, but 202 pen, yeah, yeah. Good luck going through a tier 9 with that. 258, you're still going to probably struggle on some of the tier 9s. I mean, they're power crept. I mean, it's just, it's part of the game. It happens, unfortunately. Some of the tanks get left in the dust, and it happens. Chrysler K. Great armor. It's got the T29 gun, I believe. Yeah, 198 standard, 260 premium. Premium's great. Standard rounds, that sucks. And if you're going to see a tier 10s, 198, yeah, good luck going through pretty much anything with 198. That's at a tier 10. An angled E100, you'd be lucky if you can go through that with the premium rounds. 260, I mean, 260, that's all right. I mean, but I carry 70. I mean, look at the amount of rounds you have. That's a little overkill. I haven't played this tank in a long time, and I've only got 17 matches in it. I don't play it because I don't really think it's a kind of a fair tank in the game. I buy all the tanks, regardless. But if I feel like it's not really a fair tank to play, I usually don't play a lot of them. You know, or I won't have a lot of matches in it. Because this thing has really no weak spots from the front. And if you, I mean, look at the armor on this thing. 101 on the side, 152 on the front. Hell, it's got better armor than some tier 10s do. T95E2. A lot of people probably haven't even heard of this tank. This is a reward tank. Crappy gun. 181 standard pen, 250 premium. I carry half and half. You can see tier 10s in this, and 250. You got to remember now, heat does not work well with spaced armor. A lot of your tier 10s have a lot of spaced armor. So, you got to get around to the rear, and this is not the fastest tank in the world, so on and so forth. Prototype T28, great gun. Same gun as the T34, just shoots faster. 248, 297, 400, 29 standard, 10 premium, 1 HE. You'll always see I carry like between 5 and 1 HE, basically for resetting cap, blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to go through this kind of quick, guys, so I apologize. I'm just trying to get my point across to kind of maybe a way they can fix the game and not kill it. Because what they're wanting to do is take your tank's premium round and have the penetration at what it is now, I believe, but it'll do like anywhere from 100, 200. If you got a tank that does 1,000 average damage, some of them are 500 less damage. 530 average damage versus 1,000 some. Basically almost like kind of half on the big guns. So I know it sounds good in a way, but it's not. Because what's going to happen is, so somebody in a Yagzella that with their premium round was doing the same as with their standard round, 1,000. Well, here, just let's finish this. I'm just trying to stay on track here. Again, LT 432, crappy gun, great tank, but crappy gun. 176 standard, 218, and you can see tier 10s in this. You are not going to pen a tier 10 from the front, half of them even on the sides with 176. You just bounce all day long. And then there's a couple of them like the ISU 130 that they did this, which makes no sense to me. So your standard round has 215 pen, and you do 490 average damage. Your premium round does 187 penetration, so less penetration, but more damage. 570 average damage. That one, and there's a few of them. The box tank, this one, and there's a few others that they did that. Why would it have less penetration but do more damage and it's the same type of shell? They're both AP. I mean, this is, CH number 202864. It's an AP base. It's just an AP shell. Let's see. Yeah, AP, armor piercing. I don't think I can keep this up. Yeah. Well, same thing. This is the same thing. Armor piercing. It says right up there, right under the CH number 201743. Armor piercing. This one, CH number 202, blah, 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 armor piercing. Same type of shell. One's got less pen, does more damage. Okay, that makes absolutely no sense. Okay, let's just skip over to, I'm just making sure I'm hitting all these. Okay, let's hit your auto loaders too. For instance, your Progetto, this one is not really, no, we're not going to use this one as an example because it's an auto reloading mechanism. It's not an actual auto loader like your Lorraine 40T. Lorraine 40T, you got great penetration with this for dealing with pretty much tier 8s, tier 9s, and some tier 10s, 232, pretty good. 263 for your premium. That's pretty darn good. So the problem you run into is on your shells when you take, this is 3 magazines. See, 4, 8, 12. You get 4, so I've got 3 magazines of premium. If I get put in a tier 10 match with Yagzellas, E100s, Mosses, well, I'm going to have to really hope that I load that, 4 rounds of premium at the right time. And when I got that 4 rounds of premium loaded, I don't run into something that's got paper thin armor like an artillery or a light tank or something that I could go through them 6 times with, in and out of them 6 times with one of these rounds versus having a standard round that would have easily penetrated them. So, it's harder with the auto loaders because you got to really pick and choose, when do I load it, when do I not load it. ELC even 90. Oh, this gun really sucks. I mean, really, 175. Oh, come on now, Wargaming. This game's been out for how long? This tank came out how many months ago? 175, you know that penetrate. You're lucky if you can penetrate stuff in the rear. You're going to see tier 10s with this. 175? Yeah, right. 215 is going to struggle. And that's its premium. And it's got an auto loader, same thing. I believe it's three round. I can just do this right. Yeah, 3 shells per magazine. The Panhard, your EBRs, you know, your wheeled vehicles. I like kind of what they did with this, with the HE mechanics on the shell. They bumped the HE up to, well, this one's 75. Um, your Lynx, I believe, is 90. Yeah. So you'll notice I carry a lot more HE shells, and I carry 17 standard, 8 premium. I use the HE on this because it works pretty good. Now here's this Batchat 12T. This one is a perfect example. 12 standard, 40 premium, 0 HE. Because in an auto loader that has, was it 4 rounds? No, yeah, 4, 8, 12. So I got 3 standard and a bunch of premium and no HE. I'm not going to carry an HE magazine in this because if I load an HE magazine to take out an artillery, HE has 38 pen, which is crap, because this is a 75 millimeter. Your lower caliber guns, HE sucks. It says it can do 260 up to 260 average damage, but let's say you hit even an artillery from the front. That's a tier 10, which this will see tier 10s. I mean, you got some artilleries that have pretty decent frontal armor. The Conqueror gun carriage, the 53-55. You know, you're going to hit that with this HE shell. You're not going to do 260 average damage. Maybe like if you do 30 average damage. So, I mean, it's not even worth carrying, you know, HE shells on in this. You're going to see tier 10s. 170, that's a freaking joke. I mean, that you have to shoot 90% of tier 9s and 10s with 170 pen, either in the sides or rear. And a lot of the maps are corridor maps where you don't even have an option to get on the butt of a tank. I mean, you're only going to see the front of the tank. Okay, we're going to skip the tier 10. And I haven't gone through and this is the way my ammo loadout is. Sheridan, crappy. Well, depending on what gun you have. I think I've got the 105. 236 standard, that's pretty good. 280 premium. Trying to think. T95 E6, this is a reward tank. The gun on this is actually pretty good. Kinda 25 standard, 10 premium, 1 HE. You'll notice that in a lot of my tanks I carry like 1 or 2 HE shells, even just for a resetting cap if it's something that, you know, because now all you gotta do is knock their track off and you can reset the cap. T57 heavy, another auto loader. 24 standard, 12 premium. The reason I've got it like that is because you only get 258 penetration. This one, I've actually gone up against Type 5 heavies and bounced. I mean, and aiming for weak spots. The Commander's Hatch is not a weak spot, or Commander's Cupola. Not a weak spot on a Type 5 heavy. 258, aiming for the Gunner's Hatch, or the Driver's Hatch. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Bounce all 4 rounds. Load another standard magazine. Bounced another full magazine, all 4 rounds. Bounce 8 rounds off the front of a Type 5 Heavy, and finally I load premium, and then I can actually go through them, and I'm still aiming at weak spots. 340 hitting the Commander's Hatch or the Commander's Cupola, bouncing. T110E3, T110E4. Love these tanks. Awesome guns. 18 standard, 7 premium on the T110E3, but you're looking at 295 standard pen, 375 premium. That's a butt ton of penetration. And same with the T110E4, 17 and 8. E50M, this has got a pretty good gun, 33 and 12. 33 standard, 12 heat. E100, crappy pen, yeah, 7 AP, 23 heat, 20 HE. Because the HE on this has got 85 penetration, so you can actually do 230, 300, sometimes if you get lucky, 400 damage per hit. Yagzilla, great penetration. 17 standard, 6 heat, 1 HE. Okay, so instead of going through all these like this, like I have been, I think you get the point, okay? So, instead of taking your round, let's say from I just looked at it like 2 milliseconds ago. Yagzilla. Okay. So, well, I was already on it. That's why. 1,050 average damage with your premium or your standard shell. Okay. What they're planning on doing is taking that 1,050 and knocking it down to like 530, I think it is, for your premium shell. Not messing with the um, penetration, but basically lowering almost half on some of your bigger caliber guns like this one. Okay, so what is that going to do? Is that going to have people shooting more standard? No, no. What that's going to do is people are going to go, oh, okay. Well, I've got 6 premium rounds, but I can only do 530 average damage with those. I've got 17 standard, and I can do 1,000 something with those, but I can't. I have a lot of trouble penning stuff. Well, I don't. I shoot a lot of standard out of the Yagzilla because it's got great pen, but for some reason I'll be getting hit in artillery. I'll be in an artillery or a light tank, getting hit with heat shells from this thing. I'm like, what the hell? So what people are going to do, instead of saying, well, I should carry less of this premium because it only does half, but it's got great pen and carry more. No, this is what's going to happen. People are going to go, oh, well, now I can only do half of the damage I was with this premium ammo. So I'm going to carry less of the standard ammo. I'm going to carry more of the premium ammo to make up for that damage. See, so now, okay, so there's 3 shells of that. I can do 3,000 damage with that if I penetrate. And I got 20 shells of this at 530 damage. I'll just have to shoot more and, doing half the damage. People are going to shoot more premium. I don't understand what Wargaming is thinking. They're not going to make it better. They're going to make it worse. If somebody is going to have the same amount of penetration but do half the damage, they're going to carry, I guess we cancel this, that would be an easier way to do it. They're going to carry more premium, not less. They're doing it back asswards. If they want to fix it, what they need to do is limit the amount of premium shells you can carry. Some of the tanks, like your Manicore for instance, with all 12 or 20 shells it has, I carry 10 and 10. This is a prime example. Crappy pen at 248, pretty decent pen at 268. Okay, if I'm a top tier and I'm going against tier 8s, 248's plenty. But if it's an all tier 10 match or it's a grand battle where there's 30 tanks, well, I'm going to have to shoot 268 because 248, you got a 50-50 chance of going through tier 10s with that, unless you shoot them in the rear or the side and you get lucky. So some of the tanks, they're going to have to get more ammo, plain and simple. They're going to have to, bump this up from 20 rounds to a minimum of 40. And that way, they limit. You can only take, okay, let's say you got 40 shells, you can only take 10% of that as your premium ammo. Limit the amount of shells. What that's going to do, it's going to do a couple different things. For one, if you limit the amount of ammo, premium ammo, that they have, give them more shells, okay, they're less likely to sit there spamming premium after premium after premium because they know they only have 10, 12, 15 premium shells. So they're going to have to pick and choose. I'm not going to shoot at that tier 8. I'm in a tier 10. I'm in a tier 10 shooting at this little tier 8 Samoa SM, or no, let's go to T27 with 65 hull armor. I can pen him with a spitwad. Or here's some really good ones here. A Waffen trigger with all 20 millimeters of hull armor. Do you know how many times I've been in this thing and been hit with frickin' premium rounds from tier 10s? I mean, you could literally fart in this thing and blow the side out of it. And I'm getting hit by premium rounds from Yagzillas, from just any tier 10 you can imagine. Why? It makes absolutely no sense. So it's going to make people pick and choose. Okay, I've got a standard shell loaded, and I'm in a tier 10. There's only 2 tier 10s in this match, and there's a bunch of tier 8s and a bunch of tier 7s. Or excuse me, 9s and 8s. I'm sorry. 9s and 8s, and I'm in a tier 10. Okay? I'm going to probably keep my standard rounds loaded unless I run into another tier 10 and or a tier 10 or even a 9 that has really good armor. T95, for instance. You know, I mean, just use your imagination. So you got 10 shells. Okay, you're not going to spam all your premium. You're not going to be able to carry 30, 40, 50, whatever premium shells and just spam all those premium shells. No, you can't. You're going to have 10, 12, whatever shells, and you're going to have to pick and choose your targets. So you see an RHM. Are you going to shoot it with a round that does 340 pen, or are you going to shoot it with a round that does 248 pen? Well, yeah, 248 pen. Don't mess with the amount of damage that it does. Leave it the way it is. If a Yagzilla does 1,038 damage or whatever, with a standard, it does it with a premium. But the Yagzilla can only carry 10 premium rounds. If he is top tier and he runs into a match where there is all top tiers, well, guess what? He's got 10 rounds in his Yagzilla or whatever, but all the other enemy tanks on the other team and your teammates all are limited on the amount of shells that they have that are premium. So they're going to pick and choose. If they're shooting at another Yagzilla, yeah, they're probably going to use a premium shell. But if they're shooting at a Leopard that has 52 millimeters of armor or 70, I mean, you can pen this thing anywhere in the front, anywhere, with a standard round. A tier 6 can, shit, a tier 5, a couple tier 4s can pen this thing in the front. So you're going to have to pick and choose what and when you want to use those premium rounds. Also, that's the number one thing. Okay, you're going to have to pick and choose when you shoot those rounds. You're not just going to be, you know, bang, 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 there's my 10 premium. Oh, crap, well, there's a bunch of Yagzellas and E100s and Mosses, and I've only got 200 and, 218 pen in this round, so, I just screwed myself. It's going to make you think. It's going to make you, actually think, do I want to shoot a premium round at this, or do I want to shoot a standard round? I mean, your load time on most of these tanks is 8 seconds. Some 10, some 12, some 24, depending on how much damage you can do. So if you got a 7, 8, 6, whatever second load time, you got a premium shell loaded. Well, do you want to spend that shell and have 9 more, or do you want to use a 6 seconds reload a standard shell and shoot that standard shell and save that premium shell? It's gonna make you think. Okay, that's the number one thing. Pick and choose. Number two, it's going to bring back armor. You're going to have to pick weak spots. Well, this one isn't a good example of using weak spots. VK7201K. Okay, where's the weak spots on this? Well, your front lower plate, gunner, the machine gun port, the angle right here, this little V shape right here, commander's cupola, T62. Weak spot on this, front lower plate. Right here in the dead center of the gun, right above the gun. Commander's hatch. I mean, all these tanks have weak spots. Commander's hatch, front lower plate. I mean, I understand, yeah, if his front lower plate's hidden, well, he's got a commander's hatch. I mean, yeah, some of them do have really tiny commander's hatches. Well, this one's got a pretty good size one. K91, oh, that's good sized. Yeah, that one's kind of small, but you can pen him with pretty much anything. This one, if he's got a front lower plate hidden, you got the little viewport right here. You got to kind of hit right dead center, and if he's bouncing around, it's going to be a bitch to hit that right there. But you can still usually pen it around the gun mantle, usually right on the left side. So, number two, it's going to bring back armor. Armor will be something in the game again. If you have a moss setting in front of you, where do you shoot this thing? If he's aiming at you just like this, where do you shoot it? This big old front lower license plate. That's what everybody used to call it, the license plate. Or the cheeks on the turret. I mean, you can't really miss this thing or this thing unless he angles it. Well, guess what? It's a moss. It's a super heavy. That's why it is slow. That's why it is big. That's why it has such thick armor. So if you can't pen it, then what do? Well, you got 10 premium, rounds. If it's heat, hell, even at this angle right here, you can pen them right here. You can still pen that right there. I mean, you just got to stop and think. It's also slow. It's frickin' huge. And you're in your little T100 LT, you could drive flipping circles around this moss and shoot him in the side, shoot him in the butt. I mean, it's still got 160 hull armor in the rear and 210 on the turret. Well, shoot right here in the back on the lower hull. I'm sure that, that's when it says 160, it doesn't mean the whole thing. It's talking about the thickest, most angled part. It's not talking about the lower license plate in the back here. That's probably only maybe 80 or 100. Everything can pen that there. So I think you're understanding my point about bringing armor back in the game. You'll actually, you don't have to worry about moving out and you're super heavy and every single thing's going to pen you and you're going to be dead in 30 seconds because you got 15 people in front of you that just tap number 2 and just basically spray and pray that they hit you with their premium rounds and just go through you wherever. I remember when the game first came out and you had to pay gold. That's why it used to be called gold ammo, because you used to have to pay your gold to buy premium ammunition. I mean, I could probably count on both hands. If I played 20 games in a row, I could count on both hands how many times I would get hit with premium ammo. Literally maybe 10 times in 20 games, because people knew that if they were shooting the premium ammo, they were paying for it, and it wasn't cheap. Most people would go out and wait till it went on sale. Every once in a while, Wargaming would put the premium ammo on sale. You would have your gold. You would go in there and buy, 200 APCR rounds for your Moss, and then you would only carry 10 or 5 in each match. And out of those 10 or 5, you might only shoot 2 or 3 because you knew you were paying for them. The biggest mistake Wargaming made is when they made it to where everybody could buy premium ammo and use just regular credits for it. I understand they did this because not everybody can afford a premium account. Not everybody can afford to go out and buy gold. But they do have things where you can do tournaments and do this and do that to earn gold and, so on and so forth. So, and also you've got clan mates. And if you're in a clan, you've got a officer that carries or deals with the funds for your account. If you went to him and say, hey, we got a big battle tonight and I don't have any premium shells. Well, hey, let me shoot you, 50 gold and go out and get 10 or 20, whatever premium rounds for the clan battle. I mean, that's how it used to be. And it worked. And then they turned around and made it where you could buy it with the gold and or credits. And basically, the day they started letting everybody buy premium ammo with credits, the game just kind of started going downhill because everybody was slinging premium rounds. I mean, I've talked to people in old clans that I've been in, even just the other day, and I mean they've got some tanks. That's all they carry is premium ammo. I mean, like my E100, 7 standard, 23 heat rounds, 20 HE, because the standard pen on this thing is 246. I mean, I've got a video where I did drive around and shoot nothing but standard rounds, and I did penetrate several, targets. Well, yeah, if I would have shot all, straight premium rounds, I probably would have done maybe another extra 1,400 damage, maybe an extra, 15 or whatever. Yeah, but that's the thing is I didn't aim for a weak spot, or I just kind of just pulled out and shot real quick. I didn't aim for the weak spot, or I didn't pick and choose what I was shooting at. I mean, if you know you're not going to penetrate a target, from the front, you know, just stay behind cover, and then when he moves, well, then you shoot him. That's definitely two of the biggest things that if they limit the amount of premium ammo that you can carry. So basically, again, like this, let's say We're at 0. We're 0 rounds. Okay, so um, like your E100, what's the max? 50 rounds. Okay, so you can carry 10 premium and the standard and HE you pick. You know, I would probably go with, since the standard kind of really sucks, that would probably be my loadout. 20, 20, and 10. I got my 10 premium, pick and choose the targets I shoot with that. Yeah, it does have kind of a long load time, 16.51 seconds. So if I've already got a premium round loaded and, you know, that Leopard 1 does roll around the corner, well, I know I'm not going to have time to reload and shoot that standard round. So yeah, I'm going to have to waste a premium round. But I've got 9 more, 8 more, 7 more, 6 more. How many times have you been in a match where you've had 60 rounds in your tank, whatever tank you're in, let's say you got 60 rounds, okay? And out of those 60 rounds, 55 of them are premium and 5 of them are standard. You start the match. How many times have you shot all 55 of those premium rounds? Rarely ever. Okay, I mean, I, I can count, probably guessing, I've been playing the game since it came out, maybe 15 games. How many games do I got? Quite a few, I know that. 37,369 games. Out of all those 37,369 games, I probably only run out of ammo maybe 15 times, 10 times. And it's mainly on tanks that are autoloaders or new tanks like the Manticore that you don't have crap for rounds. 20 rounds, you can go through 20 rounds like that. So, again, they would have to definitely up the amount of rounds in some of the tanks, several of the tanks. Okay, like I said, leave the damage at where it's at. Don't lower it just because you're shooting a premium round. Leave it to what it does. Just lower the amount of premium rounds that you can carry. You can only carry 10% of whatever your maximum. You got 60 rounds, you can only carry 10% of those rounds. If you carry 40 rounds, well, give them a little bit more so that they can only carry 5. Make sure they can carry at least, or just limit it. You can only carry 10, 12, whatever premium rounds. That's it. 12 premium. I don't care if you got 100 rounds. 12 of them, and that's it. They might have to go through and tweak some of the guns that have low penetration, up the penetration enough to where if it's a tier 8 and it's going to get into a tier 10 match, make sure it is going to be able to possibly, at least shoot a weak spot and penetrate it, and make sure tanks actually have weak spots. Like, for instance, the big one that everybody bitched about was the Chrysler GF. Like I just said, you know, there's no weak spots on the front of this thing. I don't care where you shoot it in the front of this, there is not a weak spot. The commander's hatch on this, I don't even think that's a weak spot. The side, do you see a weak spot there? No. I mean, actually, this is right here, those little machine gun ports, but a lot of people don't know that. But still, you can aim for the road wheel, shoot through the road wheel. Make sure it has a weak spot, like the T110E5. That went from super awesome, you couldn't penetrate it because, where's my T110E5? Oh, there it is. Because they made this commander's hatch impenetrable. I mean, you could hit that thing, you literally had to shoot it in the perfect spot on this little commander's hatch, like right here, like where that little port is right there, like right below that. If you didn't hit perfectly right there, you weren't going to penetrate it. I don't care if you shot that thing with a Yagzilla. If you didn't hit it right there, you weren't going to pen it. But then they turned around and they unnerfed it and made it so that you could hit that with a spitwad and go through it. I mean, it's still okay, but it's just not even close to what it used to be. But it is a weak spot now, and you can penetrate it. Don't overdo it where you can't penetrate it, or underdo it where everything goes through it. I mean, obviously they've got statistics and teams of people that build these models and then put them together, and then artists that model everything, and the lower plate weak spot, commander's hatch weak spot, viewport weak spot. Add some weak spots in there so people have to aim. I mean, and I'm sorry, this is just my bitch session. It's just, I don't want to see the game get ruined. And I have a feeling that if what they do by lowering the amount of damage on your premium shells, people are just going to carry more premium shells. it's going to do the opposite of what they're thinking. So what you guys need to do, send messages. I don't care if you're a community contributor. I'm not a community contributor. And I've sent messages. I've sent other videos of other people that have said the same thing and said, please watch this video. Do this. Don't kill the game. Don't ruin it. We love it. It's been around for, 11 years? I'd like to see the game around for another 20, 30 freaking years, whatever, till I got a foot in the grave. Don't screw it up and ruin it by doing that, because that's probably what's going to happen. People are just going to carry more premium rounds. So, all right. Sorry guys, I know I don't, this is like literally the first time I've ever done a video and just bitched and not had gameplay, but it needs to get out there. Send messages to Wargaming, World of Tanks. Let's get them to fix the premium ammo, but fix it right. I mean, maybe my way isn't the right way. Maybe some of these other people's ways aren't the right way, but maybe if they take the community as a whole and listen to us and get it out there. This is a better way to fix it. Everybody would be happier this way. Not 10 people or 20 people, but the 18,000 people that play on the US server. The 1 million people that play on the Russian server. We'd be a lot happier if you fix it this way, not screw it by just doing what you're planning. Anyways, that's my bitch. So if you get a chance, please send Wargaming a message to the developers. It's just the support, and ask them. Please try and fix it this way. Don't kill the game. Anyways, you guys take it easy, be safe, and I will see you on the battlefield.